Hello and welcome to another episode of Mitsubishi Master. I'm your host, Tim Hyder, and in this episode, we're going to be taking a look at the MX controller and more specifically how to share global labels and network labels to our HMI. We call it the GOT2000. So with that, let's begin. We now have the ability to do network labels, so we can automatically create these labels and we can share them across multiple devices, multiple slave stations, and then we can also share them to a GOT. And yes, the data is still network mapped, so RWW, RWR, it's still the old Mitsubishi's technique, but this greatly simplifies and we can do this very quickly. Let me show you what that looks like. I've got a demo. We're going to have same scenario we have now. We're connected up with the amplifier to port 1. We're going to connect GXWorks 3 up. Instead of the USB cable, we're going to have a GOT connected up, and I'm going to quickly show you how I can get the GOT talking to the amplifier and using labels. So give me 2 seconds, we'll be right back. Okay, we've got it set up. We added the GOT. I did a little bit of the background work. I put the project in. I've got a little SM412 blinky light, so it says yes, we are connected. We're connected up here to port 2. We could have connected up directly to the Ethernet port, but these are 2 separate networks. So we've got our .4 network and our .3 network. It's convenient to have the GOT on the same network, especially when we're reading network labels. We can do that now on TSN. We can tunnel that Ethernet traffic through. So it's true TSN out to the amplifier, black cable, Ethernet to the GOT. Let's see what that looks like. I'm going to open up GT Designer 3 project file. I'll just show quickly. First, MX controller 418, so network 4, station 18. The PLC is network 4, station 0. 0 means master module. We're good to go there, as we saw with a blinky light. Let's create our network module, our network labels and our global labels. So let's just go ahead and say that we want to do make these global. So we're going to actually go ahead and create new labels here. So bear with me. We'll call this global for power on, and global, oh, I need to make it in the global labels. Come up here, delete this one, delete, yes, come here, sorry, we'll make this a global label. Global, yes, we probably won't need a reset, we're just gonna do a jog forward global. This is nothing new. This is your standard global labels. I just want to show that we can do all this quickly from the GOT. So we got all our global labels. We got all 3 of them should be in here. Great, they are. We do want to make sure that they're accessible. So we click access from the GOT here. Now, let's do our PDO mapping so we can actually see that information. So if we come down here in the tree, we have this new thing called network label settings. When I double click on this, we see all of the PDO mapping, so that the reads and the writes back and forth that are constantly sent on this axis 1. One of the things I can do is I can say structure array setting, add, and add, a lot of adds, close. Now that took all of those labels, made it a structure. So now we come back in the tree here, and we should see that there's a new structure. I have to actually create the label, sorry. Hit create. Now it created a label category called network global 1, and we see a new structure called MRJ5G. If we come down in here, we should see that structure. There it is. Great. Let's go ahead and actually access from external. So now those will be available from the GOT. So instantly, all the PDO mapping available from the GOT. Again, this is not something we could do before. So let's go ahead and can rebuild all, make a project, or make one that we can download to the PAC, sorry. And then write this down. And we are changing the label database, so we will have to do a reset of power. It's fine though, because then we can jump over to the GOT project. First, we want to save this. Saving this file allows GT Designer 3 to look at GXWorks 3. Let's move over to GT Designer 3 and do some label importing. So the first one we'll do is just our standard global labels. And oh, I already did it once before. We're going to delete those. Import, we'll do add. What do we need here? File path. So we need to point at the project file, which is here. Hit OK. Hit OK. Hopefully those 3 labels that we created in the global section will now show up. In a second. It's actually looking at the project file, parsing it, and then bringing it in. So this does take a second. All right, we've got our globals. If I double click on it, got our 3 labels. Couldn't ask for more. Let's now, we need to import the network labels, but we actually have to do one more step. A little bit unfortunate, but we do have to do it. So let's export on the network global labels. And so we say export to file as a CSV, execute this, find our location, webinar, project files, save. That's the label file, but the label has a structure, so we also need to export the structure. Not a super big deal. We only have to do this once. Export as a CSV, yes. Bring it in here. And then we can come back to GT Designer 3. Now we want to import and we want to add, and we're going to point at that label, network global label, and OK. And now it's red, meaning there's been a change. We hit OK. And when we double click on that, we've got all of our PDO mapping. Bob's your uncle. We're good to go. Let's make some stuff happen. So let's say we want to do power on. So we say bit, alternate, and maybe click here. We'll say global labels. And we want the global. And we want to do power on as our first one. And let's give it some text. Power on. And maybe as an indicator, we'll make that the lamp state. And let's change the color to green, just to know that it's, I did the wrong thing. Let's do power on to green, just to know, hey, it's on. Sorry to interrupt, editor Tim here, and I can already see some of you rushing down into the comments to tell me how bad my button looks. The intent of this wasn't to make a good looking button, but while we're on the topic, let me just show you a couple things I could have done here to make this a little bit more visually appealing. If I have the button selected, I can come here to edit, and I can say to always fix the frame width. So you can see here it's kind of fuzzy and it's not uniform all the way around. So this will fix that for us when we make a new button. So let me click that. Let me bring in a new button, and look how much better that already looks. I just didn't have that setting selected. The other thing would be the font. So if I come and I select this, we have a whole host of fonts available. I just was using the default. You may want to pick something sans serif, you know, without the little fancy letterings, maybe like a Montserrat. Let's see here. I'm missing it. There it is. Which is typically like a Montserrat or Roboto. Those are nice for visual user interfaces. So I could have said servo on, and maybe make this a little bit larger, maybe bold, totally up to you. I could have also, you know, added some text below it. So click me for servo on, exclamation point. And maybe that part I don't want to be to be bold. I could have had separate for the on condition and the off condition. So if I uncheck this, that would be, you know, for that. I can click OK. If I want to resize the box down in the lower left-hand corner, I can come here and say 200 and 100 or whatever you would like. So if I hit Control I can actually display this. So Control I, and that shows me a nice visualization, and we can clearly see better looking border, better looking text. Maybe you don't like the text. Use whatever text you want, just to know that was not the intent of this video. But now back to old me. Let's copy paste that. So we got power on. We also need servo on. We'll change the text real quick so we don't forget. We'll come to action, and instead of power, we'll do servo. As we start typing, it should automatically show up. If it doesn't, we can hear servo on global. And then same thing here, servo on global. Hit OK. And then we need one more. We need to actually jog this guy. So let's do text, jog forward. And just to let people know that, hey, motion's happening, we'll make this red and we'll blink this when it happens. Shape and text. And this we want to do jog forward and change this indicator to jog forward as well. And now that's the global labels. But we said we also brought in the network labels. So let's go ahead and look at where this guy's position is. The signed binary 16 won't work. The position is actually 32-bit, but we can check that. We can click here on the ampersand, the three dots, hit global, and then come to all of these guys. And what do we want? Actual position. Position, where is it at? Target, status. Position, actual value. Double word. Okay, we're going to need to change that. So let's come here, signed 32, 12 places. Maybe we'll make it size 40 on the font. Come back in here. Now it should be available. Position, actual value. Great. So that's going to tell us where that servo's at. So when we hit jog, we should see this incrementing. Hit OK. Right down to the GOT. USB's fine. Yep, we're connected up USB. Okay, right. So we're writing down. Hit OK. And now we want to power on. I heard a click. Servo on. I can hear it. It's servoed. And then jog forward. I did something wrong. Let's double check. Is it not in a ready state? Maybe I needed to reset an error. Monitor. We'll do an axis reset. And then we'll do a jog forward. Yep, that's it. I just needed to reset it. We can see that we're counting up. So look how fast we were able to take the global labels and the network global labels, instantly get them utilized in the GOT. I don't know if you can see it. It's spinning. We're good to go. And that concludes the video. Thanks again for watching another episode of Mitsubishi Electric Automation Mastered, where we show how quick and easy it is to become a master of Mitsubishi Electric industrial controls. Thanks and have a great day.